Will Spencer is caught between the woman he loves and the woman who understands a side of him Electra may never fully accept. At the same time, Daphne is facing a medical truth that could shatter the future she promised Carter. One relationship is being tested by anger, secrecy, and family pressure. The other is being shaken by a reality neither partner expected. At the beach house, Dylan stays close to Will and tries to lift his spirits. Will knows she is trying to cheer him up after Electra walked away, but even with Dylan beside him, his mind remains on Electra. He misses her. Will admits that he should have been honest with Electra. He also regrets hitting RJ. He is not defending his behavior. He knows his anger made everything worse, and he understands why Electra felt betrayed. That matters because Will is not acting like someone ready to move on. He is still carrying guilt. He knows he damaged Electra's trust, and one apology may not be enough to repair it. Dylan listens, but her response becomes increasingly personal. She says Electra probably loves him, yet she also points out how different they are. Will immediately recognizes the old family problem behind that difference. He is a Spencer. Electra is tied to the Forresters. Once again, their relationship is being judged through a family rivalry. Dylan goes further. She suggests that Will and Electra may not be a good match. In her view, Electra is more controlled and cautious, while Will is a free spirit. Dylan believes Electra loves the version of Will who saved her, but she questions whether Electra accepts the complete Will Spencer. That challenge touches Will's biggest insecurity. Can he be fully himself around Electra, or does he feel pressure to become someone safer and easier for the Forresters to accept? Dylan is not pretending to be neutral. She reminds Will that if she ever returned to his life, she would not settle for living above the garage. She would expect a real place beside him, not a hidden or temporary role. Before Dylan leaves for Bikini, she asks Will not to tell Electra that she was there. She is afraid the visit could cost her job, although she jokes that she could apply at Spencer. That request adds another secret to a relationship already damaged by secrecy. Will wants to rebuild trust with Electra, but now he is being asked to hide Dylan's visit. Even without a decision between Will and Dylan, keeping this meeting private could create another serious problem. Then Dylan openly tells Will how she feels. She says respecting his pain makes her love him even more. Will does not completely reject their connection. He admits they have chemistry. He even acknowledges that part of him may want to explore it. But he draws one clear line. He cannot give up on Electra's. Dylan may understand his rebellious side, and their attraction may be real, but Will's heart is still tied to the woman he hurt. At Forrester Creations, Electra is struggling with the same conflict from the opposite side. RJ tells her that leaving the beach house was the right choice. Electra does not sound convinced. Her hesitant response reveals that walking away did not bring her peace. RJ repeats the familiar warning that Forresters and Spencers do not mix. Electra finally cries out the question she cannot escape. How is she supposed to stay away from Will when she loves him so much? That is the emotional center of this B&B recap. Electra may be angry, she may feel betrayed, her family may distrust Will, but none of that has erased her love. RJ says he is not simply trying to attack Will, then quickly turns his anger toward Bill. Electra insists that Will is different, but RJ believes being a Spencer is in his blood. To him, the family name is a warning. Electra mocks RJ for making the situation sound like a Shakespearean tragedy. Her sarcasm shows how tired she is of having her relationship reduced to an old family battle, yet RJ refuses to soften. He tells her she must stay away from Will. While Electra and Will struggle with a love everyone seems determined to question, Carter is dreaming about a future Daphne has just learned may never happen as planned. In the main office, Carter worries that Forrester Creations is gaining a reputation for pushing people out. Ridge focuses on finding a way to launch Eric's line, and Zend mentions hope for the future. But Carter's attention soon returns to Daphne and their difficulty conceiving. The Forresters encourage him and Carter smiles. He says he cannot wait to see Daphne with their baby. His hope is sincere. He still believes their dream is possible. But in Finn's office, Daphne is hearing devastating news. Lee explains that Daphne has premature ovarian insufficiency, also described as premature menopause. There is no simple way to fix it, and the chance of her having children is very low. Daphne breaks down. Steffi holds her as she cries. Daphne is grieving the possibility of motherhood, but she is also terrified of disappointing Carter. She promised him a family. Lee reminds her that alternatives exist, but Daphne does not want alternatives. She wants a biological child who is hers and Carter. In this moment, other paths do not feel comforting. They feel like proof that the future she imagined has been taken away. While Carter confidently talks about the family they will have, Daphne is already wondering how she can tell him that their shared dream has changed. Carter cannot reach Daphne and the silence begins to worry him. He tries to reassure Zen that everything is fine, but he is also trying to convince himself. He repeats that he and Daphne are going to have a family. The audience knows what Carter does not. His certainty makes Daphne's pain even heavier. In Finn's office, Daphne tells Steffi that the news will break Carter. They wanted the same future. Now she feels that future has been taken away before she has even found the courage to explain what happened. Steffi reminds her that in vitro fertilization, surrogacy, and adoption may offer other ways to build a family, but Daphne is not emotionally ready to see those choices as hope. She feels like a failure. That feeling is heartbreaking because the diagnosis is not her fault, yet Daphne is measuring her worth through something she cannot control. Since Carter wants a family so deeply, she believes she is personally denying him the life he deserves. The real tragedy is not a lack of love. Daphne and Carter still share the same devotion. The problem is that Daphne is facing the truth alone, while Carter is celebrating a future he assumes is coming. Back at Forrester Creations, Eric and Ridge focus on their own family concerns. They complain about Logan causing problems and discuss Electra's devastation over the hope for the future diamond. The jewelry line has already returned after a brief absence, but Electra's emotional damage has not disappeared so quickly. Ridge is relieved that Electra is keeping her distance from Will. Eric goes even further, calling Will the worst possible thing that could happen to her. Their judgment shows how difficult Electra's choice has become. She is not simply deciding whether to forgive a boyfriend. She is standing against people who believe Will is wrong for her because he is a Spencer and because his choices have already caused pain. For Eric and Ridge, staying away from Will looks like protection. For Electra, it feels like losing the man she loves. Electra arrives at the Forrester mansion and agonizes over walking out on Will. She knows why she left, but understanding the reason does not make the separation easier. Then Will appears. He does not come with excuses, he comes with an apology and a plea. Will says Electra's family sees him as nothing more than a dirty Spencer, but he believes Electra sees beyond the family name, the rivalry, and his worst mistake. That belief gives him the courage to ask for another chance. Will begs Electra to come back. He needs to hear that she still loves him. He needs to know that she misses him too. He tells her he needs her and asks her to come home. The moment carries even more tension because Will has just admitted to Dylan that they share chemistry. He listened as Dylan questioned whether Electra truly accepts him, yet when he stands in front of Electra, there is no doubt about who he is fighting for. He is fighting for Electra. Still, love does not erase what happened. Will kept the truth from her. He allowed anger to take control when he hit RJ. And now there is also the beach house conversation with Dylan, a conversation Dylan specifically asked him to keep secret. Will's regret may be genuine, but Electra must decide whether regret is enough to rebuild trust. RJ, Eric, and Ridge all want her to stay away from Will. Dylan is questioning their compatibility while admitting that she loves him. Will feels judged by the Forresters and understood by the woman who accepts his freer side. Electra is trapped between her heart and every warning around her. Will's final plea does not settle the relationship. It places the decision directly in Electra's hands. He has said what he wants. Now she must decide whether returning to him would be an act of love or another step toward heartbreak. And Dylan's presence cannot simply be ignored. Will says he cannot give up on Electra, but he also admits that his chemistry with Dylan is real. Even if he chooses Electra, that admission creates another question about honesty. Can Will truly repair their relationship while keeping his private conversation with Dylan hidden? Electra does not only need to decide whether she loves Will, she already knows that she does. She must decide whether she believes he can be honest with her when the truth is difficult. That is a much harder question. At the same time, Daphne has an even more painful conversation ahead. Carter is waiting for her, believing they will become parents. Daphne is grieving, blaming herself, and fearing that the truth will destroy him. Carter's excitement is built on love, not pressure. He wants to share a family with Daphne because he sees a future with her, but Daphne hears his happiness differently now. Every hopeful word makes her feel as though she is preparing to take something precious away from him. Steffi and Lee have reminded her that other possibilities exist, yet Daphne cannot accept those possibilities until she has processed what she has lost. She needs time, but Carter is already becoming worried because she is not answering him. The longer Daphne remains silent, the more painful the eventual conversation may become. Both women are now facing moments of honesty. Electra must decide whether she can trust Will again, despite his mistakes, his family name, and his chemistry with Dylan. Daphne must find the strength to tell Carter that their plan for a family may have to change, even though she fears he will see her differently. Neither woman has stopped loving the man at the center of her struggle. That is what makes both situations so emotional. Love is still present, but love alone cannot remove betrayal, fear, medical reality, or family pressure. Will is begging Electra to return. Carter is waiting for Daphne to answer. And both relationships are standing at emotional turning points, where the truth could either bring two people closer or leave them more broken than before. So which truth will cause the deeper heartbreak? Electra admitting she still loves Will despite everything, or Daphne telling Carter that the future he is celebrating may no longer be possible? Share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for daily The Bold and the beautiful spoilers, recaps and updates.